What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and today we're going to be doing an episode of Modern Warfare Versus. I've been getting a lot of questions lately asking, when am I going to do Infinite Warfare Versus? When am I going to do the How Good Is series for Infinite Warfare? As soon as I get weapon stats for the in-game weapon stats, I'll be doing those videos. As soon as I get the weapon stats. However, unfortunately, I don't have any of the weapon stats right now, and I don't want to just guess what the stats are based on, like, kind of counting frames and that kind of stuff. I want to actually get you the real in-game stats. So as soon as I get that, we'll start this for Infinite Warfare. But as of right now, I got lots of stats for Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare Remastered, and today is an age-old debate among the sniping community, and we are going to talk about that. So today, we got the M40A3 sniper rifle versus the R700, and this is an age-old debate, and you'll see exactly why as we go through this, because these snipers are so similar and at the same time a little bit different in little ways, and I can't wait to show you all of them because this is a really great comparison. In fact, out of all of the Versus episodes we've ever done for sniper rifles, I think this is the best comparison between two sniper rifles because you really do get to see the differences between the two. So the most confusing stat with these two weapons is the damage profile. It's very confusing because there's a whole bunch of different scenarios for both weapons. So first of all, the M40. If you're not using stopping power, it's going to be a one bullet kill from the neck and up. For the R700, if you're not using stopping power from the mid-torso and up, you can get a one-shot kill. So you're able to use Juggernaut with the R700, where the M40, you have to get the headshot. However, when you're using stopping power, they're both exactly the same at the waist and up. So if you shoot someone from the waist and up, you're going to get a one bullet kill with both of these sniper rifles when using stopping power. However, there's a little trick for the M40, which I actually thought they got rid of in this game. However, they didn't. It's still there. I tested it out. I promise you, it's exactly like it was in Call of Duty 4. If you equip the ACOG attachment, the damage from the M40 goes from 70 to 75. And guess what? The R700 also deals 70 damage. But why is this a big deal that it goes from 70 to 75? This little increase in damage causes you to always get a one bullet kill. You can shoot them in the foot, you can shoot them in the leg, you can shoot them in the arm. You will always get a one bullet kill with the M40 with an ACOG attachment. So who wins this stat? It's really odd. Who wins this stat? So as a base sniper rifle with no stopping power, the R700 wins. With stopping power, these two tie. With an ACOG attachment, the M40 has a better damage profile. It's so odd. It's the oddest thing when comparing sniper rifles. But since each of them are better in a specific circumstance, I'm just going to not give out points. We'll call it even for that. You can make up your mind down in the comments which one of these has a better damage profile. So like I said, R700 is better with Juggernaut. M40 is better with ACOG, and they tie if you're just using stopping power with the reg scope on both of them. So alright, that's the confusing part. The confusing part is out of the way. Next up, if we look at rate of fire, they are both exactly the same at 65 RPM, which is pretty good actually for a sniper rifle. When you look at like the Locust from Black Ops 3, you're looking at like 50 RPM, so it's pretty good for a sniper rifle. As far as movement speed, you move at 95% speed, which is pretty good for a sniper rifle, and then when you aim down sights, you move at 38% speed. One major difference between these two weapons, actually I can't really say it's major, but is the magazine size. So the M40 has a 5-round magazine, whereas the R700 has a 4-round magazine. I mean, it's a one bullet difference, but it's like a 20% difference when you look at it percent-wise. So for that, the M40 is going to get plus 1 point for you having to reload just a little bit less with this weapon. Speaking of reload speed, both of these weapons reload at the exact same speed, but it's important to note that with both of these weapons, you don't have like a magazine you're putting into the weapon. You're actually loading the bullets into the gun one at a time. So it does take a while to reload both of them. However, it is important to note that you can reload cancel after an individual bullet to kind of speed up the reload if someone's running around that corner or something. But it's just important to note, one bullet at a time into the weapon. It's not a magazine. Another thing I forgot to talk about when we're talking about damage, both of these weapons have high penetration. In fact, every sniper rifle in this game has high penetration. They have the exact same penetration values, so you don't have to worry about wall banging better with one or the other sniper rifle. They're exactly the same. On top of that, the weapon switch time is identical. One thing that is different is idle sway, and this is a massive thing when looking at sniper rifles, because the M40 does have a solid amount of idle sway. However, the R700 has more. When you're looking at it values-wise, these values really may not mean anything for you, but just to show you the difference, the idle sway value for the M40 is 40, whereas the R700 is 60. Those numbers don't mean anything. They're not inches or anything like that. They're just the value that's put into the game, and obviously the value for the R700 is 20 more than the M40, and it's 100% noticeable if you ask me. So for that, we're going to give the M40 plus one more point, and it's taken a pretty big lead. So one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to the R700 versus the M40 is that the R700 aims down sights slower than the M40, when in fact every single sniper rifle in the game has the exact same aim down sights time at 0.4 seconds. In fact, if you're using an ACOG on any sniper rifle in the game, you will then aim down sights in 0.3 seconds. It's the exact same for every single sniper rifle, so this obviously includes the M40 and the R700. On top of that, every single sniper rifle in the game has the same sprint out time at 0.3 seconds. So as you can probably tell by this point, there's a lot of stats on these weapons that are very, very similar, and this is what sparked the debate between these two weapons. Because they're so similar, people always argued which one is better than the other. However, there's one more stat, and in my opinion, I think this is the biggest stat out of anything we've talked about so far that tells you which weapon is actually better, and that is the view kick. So with the view kick on these two weapons, the R700 has a pretty substantial amount of view kick, to the point where if you shoot at someone and you miss, it's probably a better idea to unscope and then rescope at them. However, if you're using the M40, there is very, very little recoil, especially for a sniper rifle. So if you miss your first shot, you can actually just stay scoped in and follow up with another shot pretty quickly, because there's so little recoil on that weapon. It's a very substantial amount between the two weapons. So for that, the M40 is going to get plus 1 point, and as you can very clearly see by now, the M40 is the better sniper rifle. If you played a lot of COD 4, you probably already knew this, and this is amplified if you just throw that ACOG scope on that M40. It's a little bit more difficult to use, I think, than the reg scope. However, once you do get used to it, you don't really have to worry about hit markers unless you're shooting through a surface, and even then, if you hit them in the upper chest, sometimes it's still going to give you a 1 bullet kill. Absolutely insane. So there is this misconception that you're actually going to get more 1 bullet kills with the R700, which is true, but only if you're not using stopping power. As soon as you throw on stopping power, these two weapons are exactly the same damage-wise, so really, that's not so much true. Now, this misconception actually comes from two things. First of all, the R700 has this heavier, meatier sound when you shoot it, which makes it sound like it packs more punch. On top of that, it has more recoil, and generally weapons that have more recoil deal more damage. And that's just simply not the case with these two weapons. So it's important to note that with stopping power, these two are identical. Without stopping power, you're actually able to get 1 bullet kills with the R700 on the upper chest. Also, it's important to note that with the ACOG scope, the M40 will almost always be a 1 bullet kill unless you're shooting through a surface. Knowing that pretty much tells you the main differences between these two weapons, and also the R700 has a lot more recoil. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, it would be fantastic if you could leave a like rating. It always helps out the channel, and I always really do appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, you can always hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. But thank you guys so much for watching. You can check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Let's Play channel down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.